maybe even give us a bit of humor. Her speech title is called The Politeness Problem. The time is 5 to 7 minutes, and it's her third speech out of Competent Communicator Manual. She thinks that Americans are too polite, and that this politeness is a problem. In her speech, The Politeness Problem, she will illustrate the ways politeness is contributing to our society's unhappiness. Please welcome Tal Shinik.
Last week, after our Toastmasters meeting, I went to the Cheesecake Factory to have an appetizer. And the moment I walked in, there was a child, a baby, screaming at the top of its lungs. And it didn't bother me at first because I thought it will end soon, but it didn't. And I looked around the room, and everyone was tense. Everyone was angry. And the guy sitting next to me, it was like watching him clench his jaw for 35 minutes. Every time the child would shriek, he would clench his jaw. So I decided to ask a waitress to handle the problem. And then another waitress. And then the manager. No one wanted to confront the offending party because they didn't want to offend them. Which got me thinking, are Americans too polite? I think they are. And I have identified 3 overly polite types of people that I think are making us miserable. Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. Growing up in New York City, I got used to hearing Europeans complain about impolite Americans who who would speak too loudly, and they wouldn't learn a language when they would go visit their country, and they didn't know how to hold a fork properly. Another thing that they like to complain about was that Americans are excessively nice. Too many rote niceties, too many smiles, too many thank yous, too many pleases, excuse me, sorries, have a nice days. And the worst is the insincere compliment. You guys know what I'm talking about? It's like, oh, those are your new earrings. Oh, they're beautiful. Those kind of insincere compliments. In Hebrew, if you want to acknowledge someone's some car, new shirt, new haircut, you say to a man, titchadesh, or to a woman, titchadshi. And it's a term that is devoid of judgment, yet it gives you all the nice feelings of a compliment. I don't have a word like that in English, but don't you wish we did? Then there are the passive-aggressives. Passive-aggressives are people who fancy themselves as too polite to burden you with their hurt feelings. And this is, in my opinion, the worst kind of polite, because this kind of polite can end relationships and lives. And I'm going to give you an example of something that could happen. Person A feels that they are enduring the bad behavior of person B, and they don't say anything because they want to be polite. 6 months go by, person A is still angry, person B still has no idea. Then, person A, who is holding in all this ugly resentment, accidentally forgets to water your houseplant while you're on vacation. And even though person A agreed to house it for you while you're on vacation, they neglect your plant. See how that works out? Not a single impolite word is exchanged, yet your ficus meets an untimely demise. Lastly, we have the PC police. Have you guys noticed that the list of banned words is getting longer and longer? When I was a kid, this list was reserved for curse words and racial slurs. today, any old word can make the cut. And if it could theoretically hurt someone's feelings, it's on the list. Here are some of the newest inductees. In 2012, in New York City, the New York City Department of Education banned the words dinosaurs and Halloween. Dinosaurs because they might offend fundamentalists, and Halloween would hurt the feelings of non-pagans. In 2013, Seattle banned the words citizen, the word citizen. I recently heard that the word Nazi should be banned, and it made me wonder, was it to protect the feelings of Nazis or non-Nazis who would be called Nazis? If it isn't the actual Nazis who are offended, who do you think did the complaining? Grammar Nazis? Suit Nazis? Earlier I said that polite people are making us miserable, and here's why. We're enduring rote niceties in the form of insincere compliments. We're enduring relationships that are shrouded in silent and sometimes deadly anger. And lastly, we're enduring fear. Fear that the words like citizen and dinosaur will destroy our coveted relationships. So here's the deal. Next time someone tells you that you're polite, consider it an insult. What they really mean is that you're contributing to the misery and suffering that comes with having to endure a world filled with too much politeness. A world filled with too much politeness and crying babies in restaurants. Madam Toast.